Yes, Mr. Stewart.
As Ron pleases, the next witness is Mr. Alan Penchef. His witness statement should be at tab 6 of the statements bundle, and I believe that is Mr. Penchef appearing from Brisbane on video.
Yes.
Mr. Penchef, can you hear me?
Yes,
It'll be necessary for you to be sworn. Have you got a Bible then?
I do, yes.
Would you take the Bible in your hand and stand for me, please? And repeat after me.
I do, yes.
Would you take the Bible in your hand and stand for me, please? I shall give in this royal commission
That the evidence I shall give in this royal commission
shall be the truth,
shall be the truth,
the whole truth,
the whole truth,
and nothing but the truth.
and nothing but the truth.
Yes, thank you. You can sit down now, thanks. Yes, Mr. Stewart.
Mr. Penchef, would you state your full names, please?
Alan Christopher Penchef.
Do you have a copy of your statement for the Royal Commission dated 10 July 2015 available to you?
I do, yes.
Are there any corrections you wish to make to that statement?
In terms of corrections, having read over the documents you've provided, it has brought back to my mind some information that I hadn't recalled, but not in terms of corrections, no. So
the point is you would say more now than what you said, but not say it differently, is that it?
As I said, that information reminded me of what happened 12 years ago, whereas it had been, in my memory, quite dull at the time.
Yes.
Of the statement.
Thank you, Mr. Penchef. Well, perhaps some of that detail will emerge in the things that I am to ask you about. Do you then confirm your statement as true and correct?
Yes.
I attended the statement, Your
It'll
Honour.
be Exhibit 2918.
Now, Mr. Penchef, as I understand it, you've been a Jehovah's Witness for the past 41 years, is that right?
That's correct.
How did you come to be a Jehovah's Witness?
I was contacted when I was 19 in the door-to-door ministry that the witnesses conduct, and started a Bible study. I then studied the Bible with them for a period of time, was convinced of what I was being taught, and in turn became a baptised, dedicated witness.
And when were you first appointed an elder, Mr. Penchef?
I don't remember the exact date, but I would say it would be around 35 years ago. I was baptised in 1973, so I'm thinking it was about 6 years later.
So about 1979 or so.
In that time frame, yes.
Yes. And have you served continuously as an elder since then?
Yes.
And what is your current congregation, Mr. Penchef?
Manly, Queensland.
And for how long have you served as an elder in that congregation?
7 years.
How big is that congregation?
Approximately 100 publishers.
Now, do you recall the dates on which you were an elder in the Logan Home congregation?
I was there for 14 years. I left in 2005. So I guess that takes it back to around 1991 through to 2005.
And how big was that congregation when you served there?
I think around between 120 to 150.
Thank you. Now, in your statement, Mr. Penchef, at paragraph 4.1, you say that to the best of your recollection, you've only dealt with a couple of cases of child sexual abuse within the church in your time. as they are a very rare event amongst Jehovah's Witnesses. Now, you will have heard that it's been presented in these proceedings that there were 1,006 alleged perpetrators of child sexual abuse within the Jehovah's Witness Church in 65 years. Did you hear that?
Yes, I did see that.
And in respect of substantial number of those alleged perpetrators, there may be several allegations. Do you accept that?
Sorry, can you repeat that? Sorry?
In respect of substantial numbers, or at least some of those alleged perpetrators, there may be several allegations. In other words, more than just one case.
So more than one person accusing the perpetrator? Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
I guess so. I wouldn't know.
But even on the figure of 1,006, that amounts to 15 perpetrators per year on average, which is more than one a month. On that basis, would you still say that it's an extremely rare event amongst Jehovah's Witnesses?
Considering the number of congregations and the number of cases, yes.
Yes. Now, if we look specifically at BCG's case, as I understand it, you were an elder at the Logan Home congregation when BCH, that's BCG's father, joined that congregation. Is that right?
That's correct.
And he came to you from St. George after he'd been reinstated by Mariba. Is that right?
I believe so, yes.
And as I understand it, you then came to chair a judicial committee at Logan Home looking into the possible disfellowshipping of BCH once again. Is that right?
Yes.
I'd like you to have a look at tab 40.
Yes.
Which, if yours is the same as mine, would be a letter dated 1 November 2002 from Watchtower, Australia, to the presiding overseer at Logan Home. Is that the one you have?
It is, yes.
And that was in the period that you were an elder at Logan Home. This particular letter is addressed to dear brother Harrop. Was he the presiding overseer at that time?
Yes, he was.
Did you become aware of this letter?
Yes.
You'll see on the second page the branch, or, sorry, before you go to the second page, just looking at the first page, who do you understand this letter to be coming from at the branch?
In terms of individual or persons, there's no person's name attached. It usually would come from the service department.
You see it says LLC, the reference that's given at the top next to the date. Do you know what that reflects?
No.
You don't. But you would expect that it would come from the service department?
Yeah, the service department in the branch.
And you'll see that the branch says that they're writing in connection with Brother BCH, who we understand associates with the Logan Home congregation. He was disfellowshipped in the Mariba congregation in 1989 and reinstated in 1992. And then it goes on in the second paragraph to mention that he has recently been prosecuted for sexually interfering with two of his daughters some years ago. And then various aspects of the history are set out. But now if you look at the second page and the third last paragraph, the one that begins 2 elders, do you see that?
Yes.
So it says 2 elders should be appointed to approach Brother BCH and inform him that they are aware that he has been charged by 2 of his daughters of sexually molesting them. And the elders should also inform him that they are aware it is a matter of public record, and so it goes on. Were you then one of the 2 elders who was appointed to look into this matter?
I was.
And was that the cause of a judicial committee then being established?
yes.
And that's the Judicial Committee you served on.
That's correct.
Right, if you then look at tab 41, on the face of it is a memorandum from the service, I beg your pardon, from legal V2 to the Service Department, 23 January 2003. I take it this didn't come to your attention at that time, back in when you were dealing with the matter?
No, that was a branch memorandum. It wasn't sent to the congregation.
Yes. And if one looks at the last paragraph on page 3, and the legal department is saying, as I understand it, and I want to know what your understanding was at the time, that the charge against BCH for your Judicial Committee was one of lying. Is that right? See, the last sentence says the primary issue before the present committee is the charge of lying.
Yeah, that's correct. The initial allegations by BCG had already been established, so we were dealing with whether or not he was continuing to tell the truth.
Yes, well, I'll come back to what had been established and what hadn't in a moment. Would you take a look at tab 42? Now, this is the form being the formal recordal of his now second disfellowshipping, that's BCH's, on 11 March 2003, is that correct?
Yes, it is.
And I take it that's your second disfellowshipping, that's BCH's, on 11 March 2003, is that correct?
That's correct.
And in the middle of the page it sets out the reasons for the disfellowshipping.
Yes.
Now, the previous disfellowshipping, that's the one in 1989, was, amongst other things, in respect of child sexual abuse against one of his daughters, BCG, is that right?
I wasn't. I believe so, based on what I've read. Yes.
Yes. And you disfellowshipped him now for lying. Is that right?
Yeah, lying in relation to the allegations his daughter was making.
Yes. So, in your reasons, you say that he denies the child abuse allegations of his 3 daughters and lies about it. Is that right?
Yes.
So you, as I understood it, accepted that the child abuse allegations in respect of the other daughters was true. Accepted that the child abuse allegations in respect of the other...
Of that, we were forced to believe that it was true, yes.
So you accepted the evidence that was presented to you in relation to that, and accepted that he had abused daughters in addition to BCG.
Based on their 3 testimonies, yes, but the courts would later establish that legally.
Are you able to explain why the allegations by the other daughters were not considered for the disfellowshipping? In other words, why was he not disfellowshipped the second time for, as it would be put, I understand, porneia in relation to his other 2 daughters rather than for lying?
In the letter from the branch, it asked us just to leave the other allegations from the other daughter until the legal case had been finalised. We were mainly to look at his current honesty with regard to what had happened, and as a result, when we questioned him, we felt we didn't have to wait to disfellowship him after with regard to what had happened. And as a result, when we questioned him.
And then if we have a look at tab 43, which is a document dated 23 March 2002, and it has 3 names across the bottom, including 2 signatures. I see there's not a signature adjacent to your name. Is this nevertheless the recorded decision of your Judicial Committee?
Yes, that's an expanded explanation.
Yes. And notwithstanding your signature is not there, are we to understand that you engaged in and supported the reasons that are set out in this document?
Yeah, absolutely.
Are you aware whether you signed another copy of the document?
No, I'm surprised I haven't signed this one, and I would have an eye. It must have just been an oversight.
And did you, as chair of that committee, actually write the document?
I believe so, yes.
So there's no respect in which you disagree with it?
No, I fully agree with it.
Mr. Pinchef, a moment ago you said that you were forced to the conclusion that he was lying, and in this document you see towards the end of it, you say, if you look at it with me, we had no choice but to disfellowship him. What are you meaning? Are you saying that it was difficult to come to that conclusion, or what? No,
not at all. We, as you know, we use the Bible principle of there being 2 or 3 witnesses to a allegation. In this case, there were 3, so that drew us to what was a logical conclusion that something had happened, and we then decided that rather than wait any longer, we could remove him from the congregation to protect him and any other potential victims, or protect the congregation rather, or any other potential victims. So we weren't hesitant. We were just looking for the right grounds based on the direction we'd been given at the time.
Now, Mr. Pinchef, just in relation to what you said a few minutes ago about why your Judicial Committee did not investigate the complaints of abuse of the other daughters, and your answer was that you had been instructed by the branch to leave those alone because they were the subject of the criminal trial. At least that's as I understood you. Is that right?
Yes, if you go back to the document, the first letter that you read, or you commented on.
That's at tab 40.
Tab 40, yes.
The letter of 1 November 2002.
That's correct, yeah.
Yes, and what are you referring to in that letter?
I'll just go through there. At the top of the page, the first paragraph, it said, "We do not want you to follow up on the matter involving BCG, since it has already been handled to the extent possible at this stage. We simply provide this as background information to assist you to be aware of the kind of actions that Brother BCH has exhibited in connection with past wrongdoing." And then it says, "As mentioned already, Brother BCH has pleaded guilty to sexually abusing another of his daughters, BCL. We understand that this incident in question occurred in '88. I was approximately 6 years of age, etc." And then, "This is the first we have heard of this accusation." A little further down, "We understand this has never been handled. We therefore want the elders in your congregation to handle the matter, and we suggest you proceed with in the following manner. 2 elders should be appointed to approach Brother BCH, informing that they are aware that he has been charged by 2 of his daughters of sexually molesting them, and then should inform him that they are aware of the matter being on public record, and that it is a matter of public record that he has entered a plea of guilty to 3 charges of sexual assault and to 1 charge of sexually interfering with one of his daughters when she was 6. He should be asked to explain his actions. We would like to assault and to 1 charge of sexually interfering with one of his daughters when she was 6. He should be asked to explain his actions. We would like to think that he'll be forthcoming with sufficient information to enable the matter to be handled judicially. If he's not prepared to cooperate and provide with the elders an admission of his wrongdoing, even though he has already done so on public record, I'd like them to contact the legal department before proceeding further. If you have any questions, please contact us. And I think a bit earlier there was some comments too.
Well, Mr. Penchef, the bits that you've read, including the bit that you cut short at the end of the last sentence you read, which said you'll likely be disfellowshipped for sexually abusing BCL, in other words, another daughter as a child, as well as for being dishonest, seemed to suggest that the branch was telling you that you should now handle the matter that had not previously been handled, in other words, the abuse of BCL. In other words...
I'll just read back a little further because I didn't highlight the point, but I felt in that letter the direction was clear. Just give me a moment.
Yeah, Dr. Jason Morrison, theologist again. I just want to say thank you for watching the videos, and I hope you got plenty of self-rediscovery and freedom out of it. If you watched it on YouTube, please share or like, maybe even comment. If you watched it on Facebook, like, comment, share. But most of all, get out and live. This isn't a rehearsal. You've got a one-off life. Don't let your loyalty and your faithfulness blind you to the life that you should be experiencing. Till the next video, thank you for watching, and bye for now.